Hey, welcome back. On my way home, I'm Miss Mandy, and today I'm having a really hard time, so I'm just going to try and get through this. Might be a quick video. I don't have any notes or anything planned, really. This is just a topic I wanted to talk about today, which is what it is I'm learning about right now. Before we get started, don't forget to hit the like button. I really appreciate you watching, and that like button helps out my channel a lot. So thank you so much for doing that. What is it that I'm learning about right now? Well, I think you first have to understand where I am in my financial journey. I've learned how to manage my money. I've paid back all my consumer debt except my student loans at this point. I've prioritized cash value in that I have restructured loans so that we are getting the most cash value possible out of our income right now. We're not, extraneously spending our money in places and losing money in places. We're doing everything we can to keep cash flowing to us and not away from us. That being said, we're still living paycheck to paycheck. We don't make great big incomes. Combined, we make maybe $85,000 a year together, my husband and I. And we have a family of 5. So, our expenses can be high in the grocery department and, the utilities department. Things like that cost money, and a lot of money these days. So what is it that I want to do? Right now, my next goal is to start building wealth. I am really adamant that that is my next step, because what I want is to become economically independent. And how do I define that? Well, I want to earn enough income from assets, so cash flowing assets like rental properties that pay you income. And I want those incomes to cover any living expenses that our family has. And when I've reached that point, I will consider myself economically independent. Yes, there is some work that is involved in rental properties and that kind of thing, but it is not me and my labor in my job that is creating that income. It is a more passive income than what my job is, where I go to work and I punch a time clock for 8 hours a day, and then I receive money per the hour that I work. So that's my goal. Well, it's really hard to know how to get there, especially if you don't know anybody in that ultra wealthy sector to advise you on what tools are available. And I've had to do all of this research myself. So it's been hours and hours of watching YouTube videos, reading articles, finding the people who are talking about this stuff online, and then breaking it down on how it can work best for me. And that's how I've decided to share with you what I'm sharing with you today on what I'm learning about. So now you know that I'm in the very beginning stages of building wealth with the goal of becoming economically independent. We're going to talk today about investing. That's one thing I'm learning about. We're going to talk today about cash flow banking, or infinite banking as it's sometimes called. And we're going to talk today about starting a business. Those are 3 things that I am really learning about right now. And I think that those 3 things could help someone out in a similar situation, or someone who is just a few steps behind me to begin building that wealth in their own way. So, investing. What am I investing in? Well, this is like the first time ever I've invested other than a 401k, where it felt very detached. 401k is really, to me, because I don't pick the stocks, I'm not that familiar with the stock market. Stock market is really not what I want to do with my time. So 401k doesn't really count to me as investing. It is like a set it and forget it kind of thing. Yes, you are technically investing, but you are not active in your investments. You don't know what's going on. You just kind of trust somebody else to handle it. And I've learned that that's really not the best way to make money or become economically independent. So that's not something that I do right now. Maybe I'll contribute to one of those in the future as sort of a diversification, which is really what 401ks were intended to be. I'm sorry to let the secret out, but they were never intended to be your sole source of retirement income. They were meant to be supplemental. So, investing. What am I doing? Well, I don't have thousands of dollars to start off with investing. I don't have thousands of dollars to put down on a rental property that can then cash flow to me. So what am I doing? I am right now really interested in peer-to-peer lending. And what I'm doing to learn about that is to get involved in it. And this situation, I have learned a lot about by reading it, but I think in this situation, I've learned more by doing it, because I've learned more about what a good investment is for me, and more about how to pick the best investments. Now, I will say, this doesn't exactly align with my values, because I don't think that the people that are borrowing money in this peer-to-peer lending that I'm involved in right now, they are not borrowing money for the right reasons. Debt is a tool, and these people are using this debt to survive. And I don't particularly enjoy taking advantage of it, but I feel a little better about it knowing that the platform that I use allows the person borrowing to set the terms. There is no 21% interest rate. They set the terms, and you choose whether or not to fund them based on the terms that they have set. And I think that's a little more fair. Now, when I build up, a little more education about this topic, I might move to a different platform where it is a little more aligned with my values, that people will not be borrowing for, day-to-day expenses, things because they are just trying to get by. And I will move into something that is more my values. But right now, this is the one way that I have found to invest with very small amounts of money. And as soon as I can, I will move along into something that meets my values a little better. Maybe I'll end up creating something that meets my values a little better. But until that day, this is what I'm doing to get started and to learn. So that's how I'm learning about investing. The second thing I'm learning about is infinite banking, or cash flow banking, as it's sometimes called. What is this? Well, this is an insurance policy where, yes, you buy insurance, life insurance, and you create a policy that is structured in such a way that you can at some point take a loan out of it. I'm still really learning about this, the ins and outs of it. I really don't understand all of it just yet, but maybe I can do a video on that in the future when I do understand the whole of it. It's something I'm interested in. As I understand it, a lot of wealthy people use this as a tool to buy assets, because not only will their money earn interest in their life insurance policy, but then when they borrow money against it and then pay back the insurance company, they can use that cash flow to pay themselves back. So, somebody else pays back their loan just like somebody else would pay back the mortgage on a rental property. And, there's a lot more versatility as to, how much you can borrow. There's no debt to income ratio. There's no underwriting. The terms on the payback are very flexible. So those are all things to consider when you're learning about this tool. Now, I've had a really hard time finding specific information on how to set up these policies. And once I found one video, more others started to trickle in on YouTube. But I've read articles, and again, I've been at this for months, and I still have not been 100% satisfied on how to set up these policies and how the whole process works. I'm almost to the point where I'm ready to set up one myself, so I can learn more about it by doing. But before that time happens, I want to be completely certain that I know what I'm getting myself into, because this is a larger sum of cash that we're talking about. This isn't, peer-to-peer lending at $50 for a couple days or $100 for a couple days. This is larger sums of cash in the form of a premium that I would never get back. The premium I would never get back. But I want to be sure this is a tool that I understand, and this is a tool that I will benefit from using. And I think I will in the long run once I learn more about it. So the last thing I'm learning about right now is how to create a successful business. My husband and I are starting a food truck business, and I have learned so much over the past few months about what it is your business needs to look like in order to be successful. And I learn something new every day. I learn about taxes as far as businesses are concerned, because taxes for businesses are completely different than taxes for individuals. And they're so much more complicated. There's so much more wiggle room as far as what you can write off and what you can't write off. And it is just something that I have really enjoyed learning about. I've really enjoyed conducting the moving parts of it, like an orchestra. I just really enjoy coordinating all of those types of things. And I like learning about it. Every day I feel like I add some new idea, and we get a little bit further and along. My husband and I really complement each other in that I am the big picture person. I enjoy self-educating. I enjoy studying the successful businesses in our time and what they have in common. And I enjoy learning how other people have successfully built their own businesses. And I think educating yourself is so important because there's just information out there waiting for you. Successful people, they write books. They want to teach you how to do the things that they have done. They create YouTube channels. I'm not considering myself successful up to this point in wealth building, but I'm successful in other ways. I'm successfully managing my money well. I'm successfully not creating more debt for myself, and there's lots of people who couldn't say the same right now. So I would love to teach those people on how I do what I do. So you just have to look for the information. It is out there somewhere. And building a business is something, it is stressful, it is confusing, it is not a clear-cut picture, and building something that will last is even more confusing, because you think you have to reinvent the wheel, but really the process is already out there. You just need to tap into the successful business processes that have already been established. And that to me is very confusing, because when you come from a world where you're only working for income, the worlds of investing, the worlds of creating successful business, the worlds of tapping into something that's structured already out there somewhere and just applying it to your specific circumstances, your specific business that you want to start, that is the hard part for some people. I happen to be really good at that. And my husband happens to be really good at executing the actual steps it takes us to get there. So we really complement each other in those ways. But anyway, that is what I'm learning about right now. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm about to run through the drive-thru and get some food because I am running late today home from work. And I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button. The thumbs up really helps out my channel. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.